Welcome to Change Starts Here, a Franklin Covey education podcast for K-12 leaders driving meaningful change through bold thinking, real stories, and proven strategies for lasting impact. Now here's your host, Dustin Odham.
This is it. The start of something that could change everything. I'm Dustin Odham, and you're listening to Season 6 of the Change Starts Here podcast. If you're your first time with us, welcome. If you've been on this journey for a while, thank you. Either way, I am glad you're here. As we start, I just want to get real for a second. Some of you are coming into this year on fire. You're rested, you're motivated, you're hopeful, maybe even a little bit annoying to the teacher next to you, the people in cabinet. I don't know where you're at, but you're probably geared up and ready to go every day. Some of you are walking in already tired, guarded, maybe even wondering, why am I doing this again? I just got off the phone with a dear friend of mine who has been in education for years, but been a principal for about 8 years now. One of the most inspiring, thoughtful, loving people I've ever been around. He actually inspires me more than I inspire him, but yet he brought me into his circle of trust recently to just tell me he's coming into this year in a way that he's never felt before, which is almost asking, he didn't ask this, but almost asking, why am I doing this again? And that's crazy to me, given how inspiring of a person he is and how much love he has to give. But I'll say this, regardless if you're the person who's on fire or coming in a little jaded, either way, you're not wrong. And what I mean by this is how you see this year, your mindset, your paradigm is going to shape everything that follows. It's going to influence how you lead, how you show up, and ultimately the outcomes you create. So today's conversation is about starting this year a little bit differently. Not louder, not faster, not with more hype, just with a better lens. Because here's the trap I've fallen into, and I assume some of you have fallen into it as well. We come out of the year flying out of the gate. New year, new ideas, big plans. We say yes to everything. We stack our calendars like we're trying to win a prize. Then October hits, and we're just trying to hang on. By January, we're burnt out and over-caffeinated. By March, we have the Sunday scaries every Sunday, and we're making it through the week and not building a future. And look, I'm not here to tell you to stop caring. Honestly, not even stop working hard. I'm just here to challenge you on how to start the year. What if we didn't try to do everything? What if we didn't measure our success by how much we can carry? What if we just started different? Not with more checklists, but with more belief. Belief, not just in your plans, but belief in yourself, belief in your people, belief in the small, meaningful things that add up to a strong finish. Because this year won't be measured or defined by how much you start. It'll be defined by how well you finish. And if you've been around this podcast for any length of time, you know I am incredibly passionate about Dr. Stephen Covey's See, Do, Get model. And that simply is what you see, your paradigm shapes what you do, your actions, and what you do shapes what you get, your results. So before you lock into this year's routines, I want to ask you something. And I just did this with my friend. How do you see yourself right now? I'll go first. And I don't know if this is the answer for right now, but I just know I've walked into years that I was thinking I had to be everything for everyone. That if I didn't carry it, it wouldn't happen. If I didn't show up with 100% confidence and passion and gusto and all the things, people wouldn't follow. And to be honest, like that mindset was not only, somewhat uninspiring, but it nearly broke me. And it wasn't until I started seeing myself differently, not as the hero, but as the empowerer, that everything changed. I started asking better questions. I stopped micromanaging. And maybe most importantly, I started seeing the potential in other people, not just their problems. So ask yourself, do you see your staff as tired and stretched or as capable and creative? Do you see your students as behind or as resilient and ready for someone to believe in them? Your paradigm matters. When you see potential, you speak to it. When you speak to it, people start to believe it. And when people believe in themselves, that's when your culture will change. So let's sit in something hard for a second. Some of us, I know I've been there, are addicted to being busy. We equate hustle with worth. We feel guilty saying no, so we say yes to everything. But here's the truth that I had to learn the hard way. You don't need to do more to make a bigger difference. You need to do the right things really well. A few years ago, I used to say yes to many things, professionally and personally. I was helping everyone but myself. I gained weight, my health tanked, I wasn't present with my family, I was exhausted, but I kept going. Why? Because I thought that's what strong leaders did. It wasn't sustainable, and it definitely was not leadership. So this year, before you say yes to that new program, committee, initiative, just pause. Ask yourself, is this aligned with our purpose? Will we still have energy to do this well in November, in January, in March? Does this serve our mission or just our ego? Let go of the clutter, anchor into what matters. That's not called quitting, that's called wisdom. And here's something I wish I would have believed early in my career. And this is hard to say because we do a lot of training, professional development, but let's just be very real about this. Culture is not built in staff retreats or opening day speeches. And I don't mean to demean anybody because I'm sure you guys have had some awesome opening day speeches and awesome retreats. They are great. I'm a huge fan of them, obviously. But it's built, your culture is built in moments, repeated, quiet, often unseen moments. It's how you respond to resistance. It's how you handle mistakes. It's how you talk about students when they're not around. It's how you treat the person who disagrees with you in a meeting. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be intentional. One of the most powerful things you can do this year is communicate hope. I don't mean fluffy posters or motivational quotes in the hallway. I was a secondary teacher. I don't really do the fluffy poster thing very well. I mean, the kind that's see the good in people and say it out loud. That's the communicating of hope that I want to see. Call out growth, name potential, be the kind of leader whose belief shows up before the results do. That's not just inspiring, that's culture setting. So here's the challenge I want you to take this week. Pick one, pick a paradigm. Pick a paradigm that you know that you're struggling with or that you want to grow in. Maybe it's how you see your role, like I shared with you earlier. Maybe it's how you speak to your team, or maybe it's how much you're carrying and what you need to let go of. Then I'd like you to share this episode with someone who you believe could grow in the subject area we're talking about today, or who is trying to build a stronger culture or is trying to show up differently for themselves, both personally and professionally. And do this not because I need more listeners, but because we need more people asking these questions together. This season on Change Starts Here, we're diving into the deep conversations that matter most to education leaders. Conversations about leading with heart, cultivating high trust cultures, and driving the kind of breakthrough results that change lives. You'll hear from bold leaders tackling today's toughest challenges and discover practical, proven strategies you can start using right away. We will work on elevating your leadership, strengthening your team, and inspiring your community. As hopefully you know, or if you're first time hearing us, we're not about quick fixes. We're not about surface level tips. It's about sparking new thinking, challenging old assumptions, looking in the mirror and figuring out how do I equip myself with tools that will help me lead with clarity, confidence, and courage. If you want to stay inspired, be the first to know when new episodes drop, make sure you're subscribed to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. And as I said earlier, if this conversation resonates with you, please share it with a fellow educator who could use this encouragement and insight today. Together, we can spread ideas that make a real difference. And remember, change doesn't start with a checklist. It starts with how we see ourselves, how we see others, and how we see the possibilities ahead. Let's make sure that this year we see bigger, we believe deeper, and we lead stronger. I'll see you next time. Let's get after it.
Franklin Covey Education is a trusted partner in developing leaders from the classroom to the boardroom in over 8,000 schools in over 70 countries.